hit this. Here we go. All right. Thanks for joining us. This Zoom session is going to take the place of an officials coaches meeting. You can always call one if anything comes up in the meantime. Anytime, any session. So just be prepared and come to us if anything comes up that needs our attention throughout the weekend. I am acting as meet director for this event. So a lot of things are coming to me. Lomax, who's on the call, is our meet referee. Sarah's obviously our general chair. Alan knows facilities. So just there's always things that come up. Come find the people that can help you, and we will take care of things as quickly and appropriately as we can. I am just going to go through some kind of highlights of notes, just make sure we're all on the same page. And if there's any questions or any clarification that's necessary, just let me know. I've got my notes here. I can make notes on my notes and make those available to people that didn't come through, and make sure, again, that we're all showing up with a good understanding of what this event is going to be for ourselves and our athletes. So starting off with some of the more administrative stuff, we will be doing a coach check-in for every session, especially Thursday. At your coach check-in, you should be expecting to be asked to show your coach's registration, which if you don't have that on your phone, you have time to get that, get the USA Swimming updated app, and we need to ensure that everybody on the pool deck is in good standing. You will be given a wristband for each session, for each day, not session. And we may be a little liberal, or, we may be not using those on Thursday night, as long as you check in or in good standing with everything. Entry fees need to be paid at your first check-in, unless an alternate payment method has been made through Warren and or Sarah. So please be prepared to take care of that. We're hoping that by the time we get there, we do not have any further athlete registration concerns. Please make sure if you have any athletes that have just turned 18 or are about to turn 18, that they have taken the athlete protection training, so that we don't get flagged in the meantime. Moving on, we're hoping to post team seating areas by the morning. Get those assigned and located around the pool deck for you, so that everybody can come in and know where they are expected to be heading. Throughout the weekend, we're going to have basic warm-up sessions that are all, quote unquote, unassigned or open. The competition course will be the scoreboard side. You're all very familiar with that. If you're not, it will be on the west end of the pool under the main scoreboard. The middle section will have lanes running perpendicular to the competition course. That side will be open for the duration of the meet. The separate warm down lesson, kind of zero depth entry pool, will be closed for the entire weekend. That will be reserved for Sulphur and Spar residents and membership. With the open warm up, the middle course that runs perpendicular to the length of the pool, that will always be open. No diving. I mean, I'd say limited pace work, but we're not going to be able to stand over you and stop you with that. But there's no reason to dive, because it's just the side of the pool. You don't have blocks or anything. For the majority of our open warm-up sessions, there are going to be open lanes for the last 30 minutes of all warm-up sessions, and with the exception of Sunday night, which we'll go over, the last 30 minutes will be more of the specific warm-up. We're going to open up a little bit more diving area than the standard warm-up session, and we will make this printout available to everybody. We will do the typical 1 and 8 pace lanes, but we're going to go a 2, 3, 6, and 7 one-way dive lane with 4 and 5 open for any kind of return swims, or people just, will be able to hop out on the bulkhead and walk around. So we're doubling up on the dive lanes in that specific warm-up session. For the Sunday warm-ups, we're going to reduce the entire warm-up session down to 50 minutes, 30 minutes of open and 20 minutes specific. That will give us a little bit more of a buffer from the end of the Sunday morning session before the mile warm-up session, and then the miles lead right into the start of the finals warm-up session. You should have also gotten word that our Thursday PM warm-ups have been bumped up our entire session has been bumped up 30 minutes. So warm-ups begin at 4 and the session itself starts at 5:30. That gets us out, if you are there till the end, approximately 8 o'clock. With that, again, a reminder that all events, all competition will be done in one pool, including Thursday night or the mile or anything else. We're doing everything in one pool, with the middle pool being oriented differently. For timers, timers are assigned. You have, I think, if not, you will have those work assignments, volunteer assignments, and we are doing that for the majority of our sessions, with the exceptions of all of Thursday night. So Thursday night, be prepared to provide your own timer for the 1,000 and the 800 free relays. Just a lot easier than to try to assign people for a handful of heats at the end. And then that middle mile session on Sunday. So we have assignments for everything except for the 1,000, the mile, and the 800 free relays. The new little event is, Bo, do you need me on something right now?
I had a question about the Sunday warm-up, yeah. Does that apply to prelims and finals, or just finals?
Just finals. The abbreviated Sunday warm-up session is for Sunday finals only.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. The new thing that we have is a little bit more of an emphasis on meet marshals. The meet marshals, there was a description of what those jobs are going to entail that went along with the work assignments today. We do have team assigned meet marshals. The meet marshals report to the meet referee. This is under Lomax's jurisdiction. One of the meet marshals throughout the weekend, throughout all sessions, will be an official, and the 3 others that are being provided by teams are not in support of that, but are in rotation with that, and they will be on the deck at all times. And please go through the expectations, find the right members of your team if you've been assigned that position, so that we can do the best job we can with that role. Lomax, do you want to add anything at this moment on the meet marshals?
I've already got one official for each session. Sunday night's the only one that I haven't assigned it yet already. And we'll play that one to see who's coming back and all that. So as the meet kind of goes on, but yeah, everything's set. All the officials have that, have all the information for it, and should be ready to go.
Great. Couple of little things. We're making the request that we hope that all the teams and will support is not having spectators on the bulkhead. We just want to have swimmers and officials in that space. So when we get to our 500s and above on for the freestyle events, have teammates, count for them. If you're having any trouble finding someone, especially on that mile session or Thursday night, come find us. I've got plenty of people that'll be up on Thursday. I have plenty of people in the mile. Half the people in the mile, there's people sleeping in their cars outside or just hanging out in the grass because they've already checked out their hotels. So we just want to kind of keep that area clear, which will go into our our spectator seating area, which I might as well jump into now. We are going to have a designated spectator seating area. It is going to be on the side of the pool, aligned with the competition course closest to the water park. So that a large chunk of bleachers there is going to be specifically for spectators only. They are going to enter in that corner, which is along the scoreboard edge of the pool, and have a fairly, hopefully a very defined roped off area that includes those bleachers, where that's the only place that they come in and they come out, which is also another reason for us to keep them off the pool deck or on the bulkhead. For anybody that has, any special needs, any wheelchair access, anything like that, we are going to have some space behind lane 7 and 8, designed for that purpose as well. So let's see what else I needed to say about that. So the remainder of Bo, I'll get to you. I saw your hand up. Let me see if I can spit out everything I need to spit out on this, and then I'll catch you. So that means the entirety of the rest of the deck is going to be team area seating. If you went to high school state, we had that seating area between the edge of the long course, where the warm down pool will be and the lesson pool will be. There will be bleachers there, just like there were for high school state. The only other things so that'll also limit the entrance for coaches and swimmers to that typical entry point by the bathrooms, as if you were going also into the main building area, with the requests also coming from SPAR to not have anybody at the meet going in that main entrance. So the spectator entrance for high school state they want that to be off limits to us the whole time. The only thing that'll be on the pool deck that spectators kind of need to get to is the t-shirts, and there'll be some kind of entryway exit for them so that they don't just get access to the deck. That's also why we'll have the wristbands, and D&J Sports will be in the gym the whole time. I'm sure I could probably go into a little bit more detail on that, but Bo, I'll get to your question now.
Thanks. Are you saying that for counters, it should be athletes only and not parents?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, if you're short-handed, find some of us, find us.
The parents can time, correct?
Yes.
Can I add that we didn't just decide that, that came up from discussions with you as I swimming, and that again, the deck is reserved only for swimmers, coaches, and officials that are cleared, approved, certified. Parents don't have access to the deck, especially behind the walls and behind the blocks.
I'm not offended by that.
I was just clarifying for everybody else too, because I'm sure there was that in question in people's heads.
Sure.
Or the question will come up when a spectator is told that they're not supposed to be counting. So it'll be dealt with during the weekend. And John, thank you for that additional reference of why we are doing it that way. Reminder about how we're going to do relay sheets. Typically with OME, you end up having entries with relay names on it, so it's not as big of a deal. But with us going back to the more of a team manager, team unify system, it was a lot easier to do your entries or your relays, make up times, and not necessarily have the athletes. So we will be handing you your relay sheets and reminding you to turn them in prior to the event, and the earlier the better, so that the names can get into the system. So all the scores, the results will be appropriate for the athletes. Scratch procedures, we're going to really work hard with the admin officials to post the projected finals heat sheets once events close, especially on Sunday, so that you can know if your kids move up. We're going to work with them to try to inform anybody, personally, as much as possible, if a swimmer has moved into a finals that they might not have been already assigned to. So we're going to keep working on that. We know Sunday gets a little dicey with that stuff, and we want everybody to have an opportunity to compete a second time if they so qualify. The last little thing on some of the meet notes that I have is we have amended the swimmer of the meet point system. We kind of had an older system that was trying to capture the highlights of all ages. And so since this is a senior meet, this amended system is strictly for seniors. This will not reflect what the point system for swimmer of the meet will be for the age group meet coming up. And let me see if I can dig that up. I don't know why it's not right in front of me. Okay, swimmer in the meet point system. It's basically going to be 2 categories. And I'm going to show you real quick. One category is going to be kind of, did you surpass the state record? So basic stuff. There's your name, team, gender, age, and so on. Event by event. If you column A, if you surpass it. So instead of just did you set a state record, if you surpassed it, meaning you might have been in a great race with somebody and both of you beat it, you both deserve credit for beating the state record. So that's why it's stated that way. And then column B is just a point system based on some of the more national cuts: Winter Juniors, Summer Juniors, US Open, Summer Nationals, and then the highlighted one is trials, which I know is only for long course meters, but I put it in there so I didn't have to recreate this chart later. So you take the points from column A, points from column B, put it in a total, run it down the end of the page. If somebody ends up needing a second page, we'll do it. If somebody ends up needing a second page, they probably have already won this award. We give out one for our male swimmer of the meet and our female swimmer of the meet. Again, this is strictly for the senior state championships. We will have a different arrangement for the age group meet coming up. Any questions on that? Well,
Coaches need to fill this out.
No. I'm gonna be doing it. Sarah's gonna help me.
Okay.
No, this will be done internally through Meet admin. Yeah, good question. A couple of facility notes. And some of these I already mentioned, but I have them kind of over in this section. And as I started talking about spectators on the bulkhead, it all kind of rambled into one thing. Nobody going through the main entrance, spectator seating, which we've gone over. Bag checks, team areas, water park, food, all this wrapped into one. You and your swimmers can expect a bag check at that general entrance area by the gated part of the water park. They don't want food and drinks on the pool deck. I mean, water's fine. General sports drinks are fine. If you want to have you're allowed to put a team area on the water park side, and food is allowed to be on the water park deck. So that's kind of the workaround. If you want to set up a team area where swimmers can put their stuff and it's monitored and managed or whatever, that's great. Teams can all set that up. The only thing they ask for is no tents on the water deck, on the water park deck. You can put that in the grassy areas around the fence. So there's always kind of a little bit of a catch on each spot. So if you want a place for your athletes to store different drinks, different food, things that you'll need throughout the weekend, you can set that up for your team on the deck outside the building, and that'll allow you to get the food and such in. Swimmers just have to be aware of what they're bringing in. One thing that Alan told me, coaches, is that sometimes the door check people will bug you about your coffee. They're less likely to bug you if your coffee is covered than uncovered. So just keep that in mind. However that works, that was a piece of advice he gave me that I thought was helpful to this group. Again, vendors, t-shirts are on deck, D&J stuff's in the gym. We will have that ready room available for all finals. The top seated swimmer from the morning, and the ready room's just for the top 8. The top seed from the morning will pick their walkout music. I mean, announcers ready. The athlete reps are putting together the approved playlist for athletes to choose from. And we are also, for the last thing on the facility, we do have kind of a banner curtain type apparatus that's going to be behind the starting area. Kind of think of a low rent version of what you'll see behind the blocks at juniors or something like that, where we hang a couple of signs or, not team banners, but Louisiana swimming banners on it. So we're going to get there and get that organized, and that'll be up for finals, where those bleachers will be available for the morning session. And we're going to figure out what we need to do with the bleachers in the evening session, because we don't want to put up a big curtain and then have a kind of a private seating area for our swimmers behind that. So we want to make sure we're keeping things observable and open, I think is the right kind of term. So that kind of covers the majority of my notes, and it's 20 minutes of me talking. So I'm really ready for somebody else to chime in if there's questions, or Sarah, especially Sarah, wants to add anything to it, any reminders?
The only thing I would say is just, if everyone, this sounds really simple, but unfortunately it's what is not being done. if everyone could just really take the time to read things that we're sending out. I would say 90% of the problems that have occurred in the last week, which there were a good few, could have been avoided if people had just read emails and the meet invite. So if we could just all take the time to read things and kind of educate ourselves before we get there, I think it will go really smoothly.
And going back to the first thing I mentioned, double check yourself and your coaches that are going. Make sure everybody's certifications are up to date. And we have a lot of them, and they slip through the cracks real quick. So
one more, I would go ahead and pull up your coach's card, because the new system, as we all know, does have a lot of errors. If you get there and you have a problem on your coach's card, like Ross said, we're going to be pretty strict about if it says you're expired, not letting you in. If you look at it now and we find there's a problem, we can either help you fix it, or I can write down that, we know you have this problem and we don't have to research it while you wait at the door. So I would recommend, tomorrow, open up your deck pass or however you're going to find it, and check out your coach's card, make sure it says you're in good standing.
Cool. Well, looks like it'll be a nice weekend, a little bit chilly for people down here. And so, we're still working on a couple little things on our end, but, thanks everybody for pivoting with us on the team manager entries versus OME and all that kind of stuff. And the couple little glitches we always have, like me putting the wrong relay in something, whether it was the meet info or the event file. I can't remember which one. I look at this stuff too much to remember even what work I've actually done. John, you're.
Yeah, I just want to add, Sarah said, read everything. I would suggest if the coaches could please make sure you actually forward all of this information to the parents, especially the details of where they're going to be allowed, where they're not going to be allowed. I think that would be very helpful.
And again, the whole seating formula and stuff will be in, you'll get that in the morning. That's the one thing that's that we have not made available to you at this time. I think I'll get with Sarah to send out the warm-up plan so that everybody has a chance to look at it. We'll post that in several places to make sure that we're all on the same page with it. I'll take another look at it in the morning, make sure I have no errors on it, or if I do, fix them. Feel free to point them out. I'm not infallible in any way. And I think we're good. Mike?
Hey, Ross, I might be able to share the seating thing. I've been trying to send myself a picture of it, and I think I got it ready to share. If you want to let me try, if you could give me the ability to do that.
Let's see what
Unless, if you would like to let people see that now.
Mike, at this point, if my system, it has to make you the host, which will disengage the recording. So I think
let me try and email it to you if you want to give me if y'all can hang on for 30 seconds here.
We can try. Sure.
I'll send it to you right now, Ross. Hold on. Okay. It's sent. You should have it any second. And then I can talk it through if you like. I can speak on it if you can't understand it, which I think you can.
Well, we'll see what I can do with it for sure. All right.
And I can. There you go. You got it.
I got it.
So basically, everybody's around the pool and everybody's got ample space. You can see where the spectators get cut off, which is right at the edge of the bulkhead. And if you could zoom in, you would see that it's Christus, SLST, Thibodeau and Crew on the bleachers right there, right there across the pool.
Mhm.
There you go. And I don't think anybody's going to be overly crowded where they are. And even and there's actually an extra set of a set of bleachers over there with 4 rows that we're not even using.
Anybody got anything? Kind of digest it when you get your own copy of it.
Of course, this is an old map, so they have the word scoreboard in the wrong place and stuff like that. Just disregard some of that typing. An old layout, sorry.
All right. Cool. Okay, I'm good. 30 minutes or just under. I'm good with that. Anybody have anything to add or questions or anything we didn't address that we've, that you feel like we might have overlooked? I'm again happy to update the notes and be better prepared for Thursday to begin.
Just really quick for the meat marshal stuff. I know they don't have to take the certification to do it, correct? Or is that I know we talked about they prefer it, but is that something that they are required to do for this meet specifically or going forward? Because we got assigned it a few times, which is fine. I don't care, but I'm going to get asked that question. So I just want to make sure that everybody else has the clarification on that in case they get assigned to it too.
For the quick turnaround on this meet, and anybody jump in if I'm misstating this. We're not having that expectation. It may be more of an expectation moving forward, when we have more time to prep for it. Awesome. 8:30 on the nose. Let's get out of here.
Just for everybody to know real quick, state records are updated on the website in case any of your parents ask. They don't have to email me.
Yep. Sarah and I have gone through the reports already, double check that alternates will be on the heat sheets at night, and all the records should be in all the session heat sheets. We're going to try to check on that before we start making multiple copies every time. Just little things, the default settings of those systems. And then when you share database to database, sometimes things just kind of reset themselves. Or in the case of reports, I never look at the reports page, because if I'm just building the meet, I don't think about once the meet's actually starting to run. So sometimes it's simply an oversight. So, all right, we're looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Got anything else?
Thanks, Ross.
We're
Thanks.
good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.